Yeah, I'm gonna go on silent.
I am. My phone's upstairs.
Yeah.
Okay, go.
Hi guys, it's me, Rowan Huang. It's my honor and privilege to have the talented musician to come to my show and share her wonderful slow story with me. If you guys don't know who Milk is, start googling her. You gotta Google her right now and make sure she's on your playlist.
Yeah.
Why? Because her voice is very soulful, meaningful, and then you guys want that to be your background music to brainwash you even when you're sleeping. It doesn't matter because just the lyric really meaningful, and you, even if you don't listen or you don't understand English, no matter, you will so understand. Just listen to it when you're sleeping. So I got sold right away when Shirley introduced one of her song to me, and then oh my god, I just have to have her on my show. So thank you, Shirley, for
Thank
introducing
you.
us together and then
Yeah.
give me this opportunity to come to this show to interview with Milk. So Shirley, why don't I just let you introduce Milk a little bit?
Yeah. Thank
Yeah.
you. Hi, everyone. I'm Shirley. So happy to be back. So if we have to talk about Milk, you have to understand she is not your average pop star. She's a
No.
singer, songwriter, activist, a force of nature, and a total badass. Who
Yeah.
uses her music to inspire change. Like Roland just mentioned, her soulful voice and thought-provoking lyrics. She has captivated audiences worldwide with her
Yes.
music, and it really addresses a lot of social issues. We love that about her. Her songs are emotional roller
Oh yeah.
coasters, tackling really important issues and inspiring people to take action.
Yeah.
Very recently, I think this movie premiered last Friday. Her song "Such Great Heights" got a major spotlight in Netflix top 10 movie Uglies. Go check
Yes.
that out. It's a great movie. It was a great
Check
sync
that
place venue.
out.
Yes,
Yeah. Over
it's
one
fantastic.
weekend, right?
Yeah.
Over
On
one
weekend.
weekend. That's
So,
Yeah,
so
42,000 such.
62
Holy
62,000. Yes,
62. Sorry. My bad.
62,000
ESL.
Shazam.
Hello.
Yeah,
Hopefully the number keeps changing, so it doesn't matter what
Yeah,
the
yeah,
number
yeah,
is.
it will for sure. And
yeah.
it was a perfect track to set the tone and to really help even more people to discover, your amazing talents. We're so fortunate, to have Milk with us today. We can't wait
Yeah.
to hear about all your super exciting new projects.
Everything.
Welcome, welcome.
We're
Yes.
gonna
Thank
try
you.
to
Thank
tackle as
you.
many as we can, right? So yeah, say hi to our audience, Milk.
Yes,
Yeah.
hello everyone.
And
I'm so thank you both for having me on here. We just did a pre-call and it's just been good vibes the whole time, and it's really nice to be around two other strong and positive personalities. So I'm very happy to be
Oh,
here. Hi everybody.
it's so excited to
yeah.
have you here. So if any of you don't know how to pronounce the name, it's actually Milk. But
Mm-hmm.
why milk? It's like 牛奶 milk.
Yeah, exactly. Well,
So
so
it's like milk.
yeah, Milk is my last name backwards, so it's visually on the screen there. If you look at Lim is my last name, and if you spell it backwards, MIL, and then you put C from Connie and K from Kimberly, it spells milk. And I wanted to take what my parents gave me, but make it my own. So I mixed up all the letters, and it freed me from the expectations that my traditional family had with me, but I didn't want to leave them behind. So I took it with me, and then I was like, oh, it spells milk, like what a lot of parents give to the next generation to nourish them, to comfort them, to help them grow. So I want my music to be nourishing, just
Mm.
like milk is. And so
How milk to the body.
yeah.
This milk is here. This milk is good for your soul, guys. Listen to her
Yeah.
music. Yeah, you will get
Yeah.
hooked right away. But
Mhm.
in this interview, before we actually get into something dark, we want to enlighten people. Let's talk about all the things you have in line waiting for you. Oh my God, you are such an accomplished person. Yeah, you have whoa, where do I start? You
Well,
have
before
like
before we dive in though, could you
I
just
cannot
tell us a
dive in
little bit?
already.
Well, not yet, not yet, because we want to hear a little bit about your most recent Netflix sync use. We just talked about it, and then also we would love to know more about your upcoming single, "Still a Fire," that's
Yeah,
dropping this Friday, September 20th. Like, tell us a little bit about that journey. How do you get that placement? It's such a great news.
yeah.
Congratulations again.
In four
Thank you.
days, right?
Yeah, actually, so the release I forgot to mention is that we pushed it 1 week, so it's gonna be not this Friday, but next Friday.
Okay.
So it'll be September 27th. I have a new song called "Still a Fire." It's probably one of my new favorite songs. The song is about how it's been really hard to stay motivated, especially with social change. I
Yeah.
found myself feeling silenced. Actually, I was like, oh man, I wrote a song called "I Can't Keep Quiet." I went viral and I was known for using my voice to speak out about things. But then there's so much going on in the world. There was a moment where I just felt mute. Like I was like, I don't know how to, and it really humbled me. And I was like, okay, so it's not linear, it's not always going to be like, oh, I always know what's going on. Like there's a moment where it's like, oh, I'm actually like kind of reverting a little bit. And then I had to go gentle and then kind of go, okay, so that there's still a fire. And music is such a good way to change the energy in the room, the energy in our body.
Yeah.
And writing it helped me process the grief. Like I was so sad about all the stuff I was seeing in the world, the grief that I can't directly stop
Yeah.
and make the world the way I want. I can't do it with my own two hands, but we can do it all as a collective if we
Mm.
keep healing. So I was like, okay, well, maybe my role is to continue with the love and putting positive things out there while also acknowledging how tired I am so that other people don't feel shame for
Mm.
that, and so "Still a Fire" is kind of me being like, okay, yes, let's keep going,
Oh my
um
God.
yeah.
Well,
And
she hasn't sing yet, but does any of you already feeling that? Oh, would it be
Mhm.
too greedy if we ask you to just sing, give us a little bit
I,
sneak
I'd
peek?
be happy to.
Oh, that's
Oh.
good. Oh, should we do it now or should we
I'm happy to do it now. Here, hold on, let me see.
Oh, see, you
Okay.
guys see how real it is. We got no prep, and Milk
Yes.
is open for this.
Okay, I'm
So,
gonna pull up
okay,
the lyrics to ground me, but
okay.
because I'm gonna do it a cappella without an instrument.
Oh
But you
my
can hear
goodness.
like a little bit of it. One
Okay.
of the things I love about this song is that it's like kind of this kind of almost spiritual like pattern to the piano. And
Wow.
it goes like blum 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 blum, and then it goes, "This year's been hard, yeah, I've been through it. I almost gave in to the hurt. I'm not gonna be the one to do it. Won't throw the towel in the dirt. 'Cause if I did, then I'd be certain I'd never see myself the same. To feel the sunshine through the curtains, sometimes you have to brave the rain. Oh, I know somewhere inside there's still a fire, still a fire, still a fire burning deep, rising slowly, getting higher. Still a fire burns in me." And then the song keeps going.
Oh my God. I decided I don't
Oh.
want to interview anymore. Okay, can you please sing for us for the next whole hours?
I can, I can sing
Oh.
all my answers. No, I'm just
Oh
kidding.
my
That would be a
God.
really slow interview.
Oh, but you got such a beautiful voice, guys. If you don't know her yet, Google now. That's MILCK, capital Milk. You want her on your playlist. Just listen to
Mhm.
that without prep and how beautiful her voice is. So yeah, I
Thank
can't wait
you.
for the whole world to hear that. So
Mhm.
Shirley, you also mentioned like, there's also the upcoming there's a documentary too, right? That was
Oh yeah,
Yes.
last
yeah.
Tell us about
year.
that.
Right. because this
Right.
this interview is called quiet, even though we're not quiet. No, let's be quiet. It's milk,
Yes.
but we are not quiet at all.
Mm.
Before we get to the musical that's in the future, let's talk about this documentary. I mean, it took some time to make this one, right?
Right. Yeah. It took a couple years to make. And it is about my journey where my song Quiet went viral at the Women's March in 2017.
Yeah.
And it changed my life. It really turned my life upside down in the best way possible. And it really taught me that I was not alone. I think that was the most valuable and timeless gift that that viral
Mm,
moment gave me, is that,
yeah.
oh, I'm not alone and there's a global family. And it's very, very certain. I can say with certainty that we are all like one big family. I
Yeah.
know it sounds like people are like, ah, she's a hippie, like sounds cheesy, but I think it's really true, because
Yeah.
when my song went viral, people searched for my song, and I shared about, I think you and I both are survivors, Rowan, like
Yeah.
of domestic violence, and I shared that, and then like people all over the world, all different cultures started singing the song, sending me stories of their own journeys of survival. And and people would email me and say, oh, sister, thank you, sister. And
Yeah.
so Grace Lee is a legendary documentary director creator. She created the Asian American series for PBS, and
Yeah.
her mentee Yuri Chung, who's a brilliant storyteller, became the director for this project. And then Grace Lee ended up being like, oh, you're the director, I'm going to produce. And so Yuri Chung is a Peabody winning creator, storyteller, and she really delved into my story and found a really clever way to tell the story about my own internal growth, because she was saying it's really hard to tell a visual story about someone's
Yeah.
internal journey. So she
Yeah.
was like, how do you do that? And so she was able to really creatively do that with the team. And so it's a short film. It's 40 minutes. We
Mhm.
actually screened it all over the country, like at some film festivals,
Yeah.
uh, looking for distribution. And then we actually went to this summit in Africa, in Rwanda. There's a bunch of women leaders who gathered, a global conference
Yeah.
called Women Deliver. And I played it there, or we screened it there. And I just like learned a lot about being brave and telling the story again and again
Yeah.
and again.
Yeah. No, I really think I really want to introduce this music to, many of your audience. I know many of you are still sleeping right now, but you will see later. I think one sentence that you say like really hit me, and which I think many people can relate, is the reason you come up with this music, I Can't Keep Quiet, is because you were fed up or tired of how you had to be always be quiet in your family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for bringing that up, because
Yeah.
that is a really big part of this song. I think my parents like love me so much and love my siblings and have worked so hard to give us the
Yeah.
best life possible. And they were very traditional. And as immigrants from Hong
Mhm.
Kong and
Yeah.
coming to this new country, they just had a really clear idea as to what they wanted me to
Yeah.
be, and they didn't realize that I was not going to be that. And I think it was really hard for them to let go, because they're like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
we're in a new world. This is the path we know that you can succeed. Why are
Yeah.
you taking another road? We can't guarantee that you're going to be safe. So they
Mm.
got really, they were always a little nervous about my personality. I was goofy, I was wild, I was explorative.
Mm.
Like I loved exploring, and I asked questions. I liked to collect bugs when I was a kid, and I liked to do impressions of cowboys, and like, they're like, what is this?
Oh.
Why is our daughter speaking like an old Texan like
So
cowboy?
so
My dad,
cute.
I know. I was
Very
like,
endearing.
Dad, and my dad would be like, "Stop it! You are a girl." I was like, "Oh," and so there was this idea of gender, like, okay, this is what a
Yes.
girl needs to be like this, and I was like, "Oh gosh, this is like so stiff."
Yeah.
Um, and I used to like steal my dad's clothes and wear it. I'd like go into his closet and be like, "I like this jacket," He's like, "Why are you wearing my clothes to school?"
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well,
So
I
I
can
think,
I can imagine how many audience must feel the same. Like especially if a lot of them are from Asian community. Like a lot of Asian parents like to mold their kids. Like
yeah,
what I hear the most is like we know how to get success. We will tell you, how to be successful so you can cut all the failure that we experience. But as much as they think they are doing their kids a favor, at least from my client, I can tell it's not a favor at all,
Yeah,
right? You feel
yeah,
suffocated, and then you feel like you cannot
Silenced.
silence. Yes.
silenced.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. I agree. It's such a
Yeah.
great way of putting it, because
Mhm.
I don't know if both of you felt that way in your
Mhm.
upbringings as
Yeah.
well. It's really complicated because it's this feeling of suffocation, but you feel like, oh, but they're doing it because they love me.
Yeah.
But it feels terrible. So then how do you, right?
Yes.
Like it's like,
You,
is
you
is
don't
love
feel love at all.
terrible?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
which is kind of weird. People don't think about it, like because that's the only way we got taught how to experience love. So as we get
Right.
older, we become not good at expressing love.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Really
because
well
Right.
said.
we never really know how it really should feel like, because all the love that we got taught come with that pain or
Right.
suffering.
Yes.
And yeah, and that's also why people become people
Yeah.
pleasers, right? Because you were
Mhm.
taught that you
Yeah.
have to you're rejected, your
Yeah.
authentic self is rejected, is silenced. You
Mhm.
have to conform into the right way. You have to be in the right you. So
Yeah.
you compromise, you silence yourself just so you can work in a relationship. And
Yeah.
that's that's yeah, right, that's so heavy. So
It's
we're so proud of you for finding your voice, being the
Totally.
authentic you. That's
Yeah, no, that's why I really
amazing.
believe many of you can really relate with Milk's music, because it's really authentic and really come from her, and it's through all the high and low like she personally experienced, and then it just simply delivered through her voice. So that's why I really believe that you guys can relate with every music she got to share with you guys. But I really want everybody to know everything that you are doing. So I'm like trying to tell myself, don't go too far, come back. So like if you guys understand, like I can keep quiet other than music, there's a documentary. Do look into it. Do look into it. It's worth your time, and it's, you say, short film, right? 45 minutes.
Yeah, 40 minutes. It's
40
not
minutes.
out yet, but if people contact and they're curious, they can just be like, "Oh, I saw this on Rowan's podcast or live
Yeah.
stream. Come," and then I can send you a private link to watch.
Oh
Uh,
my
Really?
yeah,
god, I gotta do
yeah,
it.
yeah,
I
yeah. I
feel
would
so
love to share it with
special.
you all. Yeah, it's
Thank you. We
especially.
love
Thank you,
you.
thank you. Yes. So aside from that, I can see literally every music that you create or things like that, it all have certain meaning or represent people. But then let's go back to the musical, because you obviously got a musical that's coming out soon, right? And
Yes.
then it's called Family Album. Like, I just want to know all the story behind it. Like, why this name? And then how do you create it? Like, what was your mindset, and what do you try to deliver? Like, do share with us. Yeah.
Yes. So thanks for asking. So the musical is called The Family Album. And the way that this musical was born was actually through a song I wrote while I was signed to a major label. And it was called Oh Mother. And it was about a story. I wrote it in 2018. And
Wow.
my co-writer who wrote Quiet with me, her name's AG.
Hmm.
She writes some of my favorite songs that I put out with me. And she's like my music soulmate, one of them. And
Mhm.
she was like, "Man, you really need to share your story with your mom because there's so many
Mm.
people that can relate to it." And I was like,
Yeah.
"Wow, so intense." But okay, and I was really tired then. I was touring a lot. The song was
Hmm.
just going viral, and so we're sitting in the writing room. I'm like, "I'm so tired. I don't know if I can write this song right now." And she's like, "We have to." And I was like, "Oh, you're right." And so we kind of just pulled it out, and the song was really special. I knew it was special, but the label I was with wouldn't put it out. They didn't. And I thought, why are they not putting the song out? And I thought, I think it's because it's not quite right for radio. It's not
Hmm.
quite it's not gonna like find its way if I just put it out like online as an indie artist now.
Yeah.
And I thought it needs honoring. It needs
Mhm.
something to honor it. So I thought I think it's part of a musical. But I don't know what the story is. I need help. So I started playing the song for a lot of people. And then finally, actually, it was my roommate during COVID. Like, she was my roommate then. She's like, you got to meet my friend. So my roommate sang Eliza in Hamilton for Chicago's Broadway production.
Oh, wow.
So she introduced me to her director, who is an Asian woman. Jess McLeod is a mixed Asian woman who directed the Chicago production of Hamilton. She heard Oh Mother, and she's like, I know exactly what you need to do. She's like, take this song, look at the lyrics, and take some of those lyrics and write a whole other song from that lyric. And literally from the song Oh Mother, we birthed an entire musical.
Oh, no way.
And then so she introduced me to, before we even finished the musical, we just had 3 songs. Jess pitched it to La Jolla Playhouse. And La Jolla Playhouse is really well known in the Broadway world for incubating musicals. And a lot of them get sent to Broadway. So they just incubated this year's Tony award-winning musical called The Outsiders. That was one of their incubation projects. So Jess kind of introduced me to one of the most established, well-respected places, and it was COVID, so they're really open. They're like, show us what you got. So through that luck, I was able to share with them. And the creative director there, or one of the directors there, is also Asian, Eric Keen Louie. He's very passionate about telling Asian stories too. So this entire project is Asian book writer Sam Chance and Jess McLeod, also Asian book writer, and me, and then Adrienne Gonzalez, Cuban woman, Dominican Republican as well. And so the piece is going to be mounted on stage in 2026 is what we're planning right now. And so
can't wait.
Yeah, I can't wait to share with you all. We're currently fundraising. So La Jolla Playhouse is investing $1 million, and we need to raise another $1.1 million. But it's a story about an Asian family that deals with domestic violence. And so I really do. And so the way that we tell the story is through humor, through pain, through all the things. So the audience will be laughing and crying, like all the things, because there's within pain, there's also humor. Within love, there's pain, and it's all interconnected. And I wanted the story, because I think sometimes people of color, like, we have to tell really hard stories a lot of the times. So even though this has a difficulty in it, we wanted to surround it with a lot of joy so that Asian audiences can show up and be really proud to be Asian and to feel seen. And then also people who are not Asian can come and watch and be like, wow, I really connect and relate to this. This is like me too. So it builds a bridge. You know.
Well, from my experience of consultation, I do realize the family issue is never limited to just Asian. It's I literally get everybody come to me and talk about, do you want to know about my mother? Or do you want to know about my dad? So that's what I really feel like, even though it's Asian producer, but the family issue is always the same.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I really believe everybody can relate to it. And then, you know, you prep the stage for me. Now I just simply have to fly down and watch the show. So it's debuting at the sorry, I couldn't quite pronounce it.
La Jolla Playhouse.
La Jolla Playhouse.
Yeah, in San Diego.
Okay, so that would be on 2026, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if anybody want to know about like when you actually is out there, what do? They go to your website?
Yeah, they can go to my website, and then they can subscribe to be on my email list. I email people once a month, so I don't flood your inbox, and I try to
check out the website.
Yeah, and it's right there at the bottom.
Right here,
valuable gems in there.
If you guys wanna, keep updated and kind of stalking her, but not stalking her, but following her. Do such, put your email address, and then you say you update it every month.
Every month, yeah, I send out an email every month or so. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. So, well, you got so many things to do. My God, I don't think 1 hour is enough. I'm gonna try my best to squeeze everything she does. All right, she's so talented. I wish she just do one thing, but then again, I probably would not interview her. But let's talk about Musitation.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, Musitation. I mean, it's a new word when I first saw it. But then when I
Mhm.
see it, I'm like, it totally makes sense. But of course, I need you to share that with every one of us.
I would love to share. Yeah,
Wait,
so
Milk, before you talk about it, I just have to fangirl you for a second. Like, I have to
Thank you.
talk about, yes, because people are probably wondering, what is this new word? What is it about? Like, let's just say you've been
Yes.
getting rave reviews and you just performed this at the opening of Godmothers in Montecito, right?
Oh yeah,
And Godmother is funded by like icons like Victoria Jackson,
yeah.
Jennifer like Rudolph Wash, and the opening weekend was attended by like Oprah, Prince
Oh
Harry, like
yeah,
Jane Lynch, and just like powerhouse people. And
yeah.
I was told, little bird told me that there were no dry eye in the house. Like people were so moved by this. So like
Oh
tell us about it because it's so refreshing, iconic,
yeah.
and different. I know you started this around pandemic, but like enlighten us, please.
Yes.
yeah, thanks for that generous intro. Musitations, yeah, thanks for going to the site. Yeah, if you scroll down, you'll see kind of the breakdown. A musitation is basically music plus
Music.
meditation. I
Yeah.
created this because I noticed I was stressed, my friends were stressed, my community was stressed, and during COVID, and I wanted to use what I know is the most powerful healing tool that we all have, and it's breathing. And as a singer, when we go and take a voice lesson, the first thing that the teacher really addresses with us is our breath. How are we breathing? Because there's breathing that's like up in the chest, there's breathing that goes like where your stomach sticks out,
Yeah.
and so what is proper breathing? And
Yeah.
um, Musitations has become a joy of mine because what I do is I take the songs that I've written and I incorporate this love for breathing that I have. And I break the song down and I'll start playing the groove of the song, and I count out the rhythm for people. And then I lead them like, okay, inhale and exhale. And you're not breathing the whole song. I tell you for a little bit and I'll go, okay, go back to your normal pace of breathing, and then I'll sing lyrics to the song, and then I'll kind of speak to the audience. Okay, like I'm singing about metamorphosis, about change. I want you to just like breathe normal pace, but just like honor what you've gone through in your life. Like what are changes that you've been going through? What's hard? What's difficult? What's been joyful? Like and so I help bring people closer to themselves. So I really feel this joy when I play, because it's not just about, oh, watch me and my thing. It's more like, oh, I'm here to serve you
Yeah.
and bring you closer to you. So let the breath and help you. And what was so cool after, when people came up to me after the Godmother opening, was some people were like, oh, I came here, I thought I was going to have a heart attack because I was so stressed for coming late, and then all of a
Oh.
sudden you told me to breathe, and I just completely relaxed. And then someone else was like, oh, I haven't been able to listen to music with my full body, and I didn't realize I wasn't listening to music with my full body because I've just been so in my head. But when you had me breathe, I went back into my whole self. I was like, that is so
Yeah.
cool and so wonderful. And then
Yeah.
this one other woman said, I had a moment with my mother who passed away. She's like, I had a moment and a memory with her, and it helped, heal me. And I was like, that's so powerful.
Yeah. I can only imagine what the experience that would be, right? Because I can only imagine, like, when I would just listen to you playing like little sneak peek, I gotta hold my breath. I said, "Oh my God, don't breathe because I don't want to break it," right? So I cannot
Mm.
imagine that everybody go to your show I'm gonna hold my breath. Okay, but then you are actually teaching us how to breathe. Like, no, 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 let out those air.
Yeah, you bring up such a good point. Like, I was taking a picture with Natasha Bedingfield, and
Yeah,
we were holding our hand, like our
yeah,
arms together, and she was like, "You're holding your breath."
right,
He's
right,
like, you can breathe." And then
yes,
it changed, like, oh, taking
yeah,
pictures doesn't have to be stressful anymore
right.
because I can
Yeah.
breathe.
No,
Yeah.
because I guess people didn't notice. Like they sometimes think holding the breath is a bad thing, but I bet everybody have that experience that when they see something so beautiful, they're so afraid to breathe because they don't want to break that.
It's
They're like,
breathtaking. Yes.
yeah, they were like, oh, the deer,
Yeah.
right? Oh, the music is so nice,
Aw.
right? So,
Mhm.
oh no, for you to be
Mm.
able to use the music to guide people, I mean, to be honest, I host a lot of seminar and then we do a lot of regression, progression. And the first thing we do
Mm.
is teaching people how to focusing on their breathing.
Mhm.
And then here you are. Oh my God. Maybe we should figure
Oh.
out a way. Hey, I say, instead of me saying now breathe, I'm saying, Connie,
Yeah,
Meow, can you come sing it?
100%. How fun would that be? Yes, and I love that you already incorporate that in your
Oh my
like, I feel
God.
like the wise teachers really do know the power of the breath, so I'm not
Yeah.
surprised. It's so cool.
Now it get people more in tune with their body, connect with
Mhm.
their soul, and then you just have invented a totally brand new way. Like people always know music had no border, right? Right.
Mhm.
Oh my God. I just can only imagine how impactful that would be. I can't wait to see one of those
Life.
Musician
Yeah.
live for sure. So if any of you, I just want to double making sure any of
Mhm.
you are interested in this Musitation. I mean, the way they can get into those event is to sign up, that I can see from down here.
Yeah.
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 So guys, put your name there if you want to keep updated. Then you will be able to know when's the next event, and you can have a live experience of that, right? So, yeah. Okay. Did I cover everything? Oh my God, I'm so
You're
scared.
doing a great job.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Isn't that what we all wanna hear? Just someone go,
Yeah,
"You're doing a great job,"
good
you know?
job. Yeah, I
Well done. Well
good
done.
job. Yeah, no, I just wanna, make sure I got all this aside because you are the person who got a lot of passion. You like I can easily see it from your voice, from your lyric, from your song. So that's also another thing that I really cannot wait to share with all my fans, right?
Mm,
So because a lot of people really believe in, like, see what happened is they see you having everything already. And
mm,
even some people from Asia is like, oh, it's easy for them to say they're living in North America, they're living there. Everything's so
mhm,
easy for them. So
mm,
in their mind, they believe you cannot relate. Like they cannot relate with you.
mm,
Like
mhm,
your story is the other story. Like you don't understand how we
mhm,
live our life. But that's not true. Because simply by listening to your music, hey, a person never gone through the struggle. There's no way she's able to sing those songs,
mm,
right? So this is a part, I mean, Milk, if you don't mind, this is actually the area I would really want you to share with my audience, right?
oh my gosh,
I
yes,
want I
please.
want you to share we will get to that later on, like how to help the young kids to have those passion. Like what are you passionate about? Like what's your strong belief and what bring you to where you are right now? Or even like what struggle you have to went through to get
Mhm,
to where you are right now. So as
Right.
you can see, I got so many in my bucket right now. So
Right, right. And if I may add, just
yeah,
personally, as a fan, what I have observed
yeah,
is that your journey is one of transformation, not about
yeah,
validation. You show up
mm,
totally.
authentically, and
Yeah,
we want to know about those transformation, what inspired you, what impact you to change the
yeah,
way you did, and what leads you to become this incredible person that you are today. Like, tell us about
totally.
your struggles and pains so we can relate to you
Yes,
better.
yes,
yeah, well, thank
yeah,
you both for being awesome and pointing out that that struggle is part of all of our
yeah.
journeys, and I like the words you used of transformation and validation, because
Mhm.
actually my path through my struggles, I'm a survivor of domestic violence, and
Mm,
I spent a lot of my life, the first quarter of my, like, the 25 years, like, I didn't know how to say no to people. Like, I was a people pleaser. I didn't know that I struggled to really reveal my true self. I knew how to act as, like, the perfect, easy, like, woman to
yeah.
be around.
So you can get less trouble.
'Cause I can get into less trouble,
Less
because I got
trouble.
into so much trouble as a
Yes.
child for
Yeah.
being myself, and so then I was like, "Oh," I learned very
Yeah.
quickly, "Oh, behave in
Yes.
this way so I can please," and so a lot of my life was hungering for validation,
Oh.
and,
Mhm.
my parents didn't know how to express love, like, me and my siblings have taught them. Now we say, "I love you, mom and dad," and
Oh.
in the beginning, they were like, "Oh," they but now they say it. Now they say it first.
Oh,
And I'm 38 now, so it's taken a long time, but they also want that too. It also feels good. Like my parents also desire that. They didn't feel comfortable at first, but now over time, like it's getting more and more comfortable. But
yeah.
yeah, like the first part of my life was really silenced, and from both my heritage
Yeah.
and my traditional upbringing, and also I got into a relationship when I was 14 with a guy who was like 17, 18, and he was very troubled himself. So he had a lot of trauma, and he actually he forced me to do a lot of things I wasn't ready to do when I was 14.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I learned how to leave my body, right? Because
Yeah.
if I had to do these things that I like didn't know how to say no.
Yeah.
And I was taught, if you ever get in trouble, just kind of hide, and then
Yes.
people will kind of walk by, and it's good,
Yeah.
play small, and then they'll leave eventually. That's what
Yeah.
I did in that relationship, and I basically allowed for this person to take what they wanted, and I had so much guilt for a long time because I was like, Connie, how could you let yourself do that and give that away, and so much shame with all of that. And I had to take years to do therapy, but through the therapy, the therapist taught me it wasn't my fault.
Yeah. Of course. Yeah.
And I
But
didn't know that. I didn't know
oh,
it was my fault. I was like, "Are you sure?" And I told
oh,
them all the things. Are you sure I did this though? And they're like, "It's still
yeah.
not your fault."
Yeah.
Never your fault.
Well, well, it hurt to hear that, like, because I dealt with a lot of clients like that too. When they put themselves in this violent, abusive in situation, how I call it is they check out. It's
Yeah.
things I cannot run or I cannot do anything about it. So my soul would naturally check out. So by
Mhm.
constantly doing that, they become more parted from their actual body. They no
Yeah.
longer feel the pain. They don't know what the crying looks supposed to look like. They don't know how to laugh. So, I just
Yeah, it is.
think yeah.
It's heartbreaking, like, to think
Yeah.
that anyone would need to leave their own body to survive, and that
Yeah.
happens quite a bit, like, and my music then
Yeah.
got associated with the Me Too movement with Quiet, and so then you kinda saw there's so many of us that have gone through this, like, all
Yeah.
genders, all different types of people,
Oh,
like, have gone
yeah.
through that, so,
Yeah. So
that
like
yeah.
people can only imagine. So literally, like people believe that physical abuse is abuse. They didn't realize that mental abuse is also abuse.
Oof.
So
Mhm.
from what I can hear, like you come from this people pleaser, just hide so I don't cause any trouble. Just go to the corner so nobody see me. But
Mhm,
then to like you are literally not a same person because a
Mhm.
lot of people believe, if I look at my environment, I cannot shine. I cannot get to what I want. I cannot never make it there. It's easy for them to say because they don't feel me. But here, what we try to share is that is not true. We all,
yes.
we all gone through the struggling,
Mhm,
abuse, or
Mhm.
mentally or physically, but
Mhm.
we make life different. What I really want you to share is what's like turning point? Like, what's that moment you realize, hey, I
mm.
don't have to please people anymore?
Oh, I'm so glad you asked that
Yeah.
question, and because questions are the access point. Like, questions are keys. We are
Yeah.
humans, and
Mhm.
there's lots of locks and doors and windows in the world. Questions are the keys, and the better we refine our questions, the
Yes.
better, the cooler doors we can go through. And the
Of
question
course.
Right.
that changed my life was, do I deserve better? Could I have a more possibilities? Like, is that possible? Just that
Mhm.
question. And it was a really small voice, like
Oh my god.
really small
What
volume.
if you don't mind I ask,
Yeah.
how old were you when that voice first rise?
It was in college. In college, when I was 21, 22,
Yeah.
people ask you, what do you want for your life? What's your biggest dream?
Oh yeah, yeah.
When you have suffered and spent your whole life being really small,
Yeah.
Mhm.
that is a very hard and scary question, because you're like,
Yeah.
think big. Okay, think big. And you don't even know what big
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know what I mean? You're like,
Yes.
I just want to survive, you know?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Generational trauma. Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And but someone asked me in college, they're like, what's your biggest dream? And I was like, oh, hate this question.
Mm.
But what if I could actually think bigger? You know? Could I? I think that was a question. Could I? Could I?
Yeah.
And
Oh my
then
God.
that door opened and then led to the next door, led me to therapy, led me to finding it wasn't my fault, led me to think, okay, if it wasn't my fault, then like, okay, how do I forgive myself? Okay, how do I forgive myself? Led to all these beautiful doors. And then now I'm here. But sometimes like it's you go through these doors, you discover new things. Sometimes you get scared, you run back to the
Oh
back to
yeah.
the door unit
Always.
and you lock yourself in and you sit in there, but you have the key. You're like,
Yeah. Like stay away.
yeah,
Leave me alone.
yeah. And then you're like, oh, fine, I'll open the door again, go into the bigger
Yeah.
room.
Yeah.
That's been my journey. It's just been
Oh
this
my
up and down. And
God.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because like people look at you, they can like whatever. She would never go to that place. Oh my God. It took a long time, right? Because a
Yeah.
lot of people believe that they change is tomorrow I'm gonna be a brand new person.
No. Yeah.
So yeah.
So I will say I have privileges, and I think it's important to say, like, I didn't have to, my parents, for the emotional like inability they had, they never made me, I never had to worry about money. I never had to worry,
Mm.
like, I always had a home. I always had food. Like, they paid for my college. Those are
Yeah.
privileges.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
A- And the pains that I have gone through also like add this empathy, like, for the things that I can overcome on my own and
Mhm.
to relate to other people who are going through very different things.
Wow. It's I can already feel like my kids, it doesn't matter what a parent we are, my kids like, yeah, I so relate.
Totally. And what a hard job it is to be a parent. Like, I'm watching my sister be a parent, and I don't have children. I don't know if I will. Like, I'm not sure. It's like a very loud
Yeah.
question in my brain right
Yeah.
now. But I just have so much gratitude for my parents. Like, cuz I like, this is what my friend said. They're a parent, and they said it's like when you become a parent, your heart basically goes outside of your body and it's just walking
We
around
check out.
and then talking
Yes.
about all your secrets. So I want to acknowledge that, like, my parents like did such, their best.
Well, they do the
Yes.
best they can, and they
Yeah.
cannot offer you something they don't know. So,
Mhm.
okay, the other thing that you just mentioned earlier, I thought is very interesting because you were saying that how you start, like your parents don't know how to say I love you, but then you
Mm.
actually teach them how to say I love you.
Mhm.
You know, I heard this story over and over. You know,
Mhm.
a lot of people believe once I tell my dad I love you, they would naturally say I love you, but that is not so, right?
Mhm.
Like, how long did it take for
So,
you for your parent to able to say that back to you?
oh my gosh, years probably, because I think we started early, like, love you, and they're like,
Yeah, 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 yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So
But
roughly how long? Like,
years, like
yeah.
maybe 7 years.
Whoa.
From when we started pushing, as little
Yeah, yeah,
kids started
yeah,
pushing,
yeah.
and then to finally, I love you, blah, 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 like,
So typical Asian parents, yes.
So
so cute,
typical.
so cute.
And the half hugs, right? They do the half hugs, like,
Oh my
Yeah.
god, the half hugs, the side hugs,
yeah.
Oh yeah.
the
Oh yeah.
weird,
Because it's uncomfortable. You're not supposed to touch the heart. Okay.
yeah,
Come on. I
like, there's
get
like
it.
so much
I get
space
it.
between us. It's like
I know.
Yeah,
I'm
I
Asian. I
feel like
get
a
it.
crab. We're all
exactly.
crabs, like, hugging each other.
Crafts. You're adorable. I love it. Yes. We
So,
can all relate. Yes.
oh, I totally. Hey, I'm so Asian, so I can totally relate. I get it. Just
Well,
don't touch my heart.
we should do a video, like a TikTok dance video where we do all the weird Asian hugs. Like the duck and hug, like
Oh, air hug. Oh, anyway, it was so fun to hang out with you. Yes. So, people can only have that image of you as a child who is like classic Asian, don't speak up, don't act
Mhm,
up, don't say
mhm,
anything, and just obey, obey, and obey.
mhm.
To just one question say, can I or could I deserve
Could
a
I?
better life?
Mhm,
To slowly get into this journey and discover yourself. I mean,
mhm.
I think I'm gonna assume where you are right now is very different from what you can picture that you could picture yourself to be when you were young, right?
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
totally. And what you said, I forgot to answer the other thing you said about how long it took. It took time.
Yeah.
So here's like what I'm very excited to share is nature is such a great teacher, like, and I know,
Sure.
Rowan, you're talking about like how that you can sense with your fan base, your children, the
Yeah.
environment is very important to them. And
Always.
it's important to us too. And we're in this cycle where we can't break sometimes. Like it's hard to break the cycle of life that is harming our nature, but nature is the best teacher because it's slow, it's steady, and like you watch like a seed go from a sprout go into a little tree and then a big tree.
Yeah.
And I think about that a lot when I'm like feeling so impatient. I'm like, oh, why am I still here? Oh my gosh, I'm 38 and I still care what my parents think, and I'm still paralyzed by like why? And then I think about the tree and like how long it takes for it to get.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, it's okay.
Okay.
Slowly.
Yes. You go
Oh,
from a small tree to eventually you're able to, give everybody shelter, but it does takes time.
it's so
Yeah.
beautiful. I love that idea.
Yeah.
That's where I'm headed right now. Is like I want to
Mm.
provide for others. Like I'm in that
Yeah.
maternal
Yeah.
phase finally. But
So,
like, yeah, like
mhm.
how do we provide the shade? Is a really beautiful thing, and I think slow is a very beautiful thing too.
Mhm.
Like, I wanted to share like now, like on my
Oh, no.
Musitations web playing guitar live.
Yeah.
I started learning really how to play guitar really during COVID in my 30s. Like, and I
Wow.
told myself because I had tried before and I failed because I had pushed myself to. I was like, I have to learn it, and then I get frustrated,
Oh,
and
I
then I
kind of
like,
saw myself there. So I'm like, oh, should I pick up guitar again?
so because I was like, oh well, then I just went back to playing piano because it's easier, right? It was like
Okay. Yeah.
fast
Yeah.
because I was like, I know how to play this, and then COVID, I was like, I'm gonna get myself a really small guitar. Just own that the bigger guitars are hard
Yeah.
for me to push.
Right.
Small
Yeah.
guitar.
Mhm.
I'm gonna learn one chord a week. And we were all watching a little too much Netflix during quarantine, but
Yeah. Yeah.
I was like watching some Netflix and I'd play one chord a day as I was watching TV. And I'd go muscle memory and just do that.
Oh, no
I'm
way.
playing live on stage now because I set very low expectations for myself. I said,
Oh, wow.
I'm going to be so unimpressive with my
Yeah.
pace of learning. I'm going to be really slow. And like,
Yeah.
I'm playing live
Yeah. Wow.
in my
Wow.
30s, mid 30s. It's
Wow.
not too late,
Now made me feel a little bit like, I did give up. I did give up guitar, but now I'm like, maybe I should. What should I do?
One chord a day or a week.
I get,
One chord a week. And then you
I got
switch.
to a point. I was so upset with my finger. Darn,
It takes a
it was
really long time. Yeah.
one chord a week. I think I can do that.
Right?
Okay, yeah, totally.
Ugh,
So
Yeah,
inspiring. I love that story. Thanks for sharing it.
yeah,
yeah.
So
Thank you
cool.
for
totally.
listening.
So
Yeah.
so what I'm saying is like after you start to have a little bit transformation and then you start realize like you know what, I think I deserve a better life. And then obviously I'm gonna assume that's when your passion, you got a lot of passion. Obviously, I mean you're passionate about gun safety, not danger,
Mhm,
but safety. You
mhm,
guys,
mhm,
you're passionate about
mhm.
recycling, which is so same as my daughter. You're so passionate a lot of things. Is this like discovering your passion is also the part of like recovering and healing yourself, like where you are slowly discovering yourself? And
Mhm.
then is that also part of the journey?
Absolutely. That's a great question. I would say the other question that has helped me grow a lot
Mm-hmm.
um, is what do I want? Oh,
Mm.
I remember when my mentor, when I was like in my early 20s, and she was like a songwriting mentor.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And she was like, well, what do you want? I was like, oh, no one's asked me that. Why are you asking me that? I don't know. Where am I supposed to find what I want? Someone tell me what I want because that's what I'm used to.
Really? Oh wow. Yeah, people are
Totally.
afraid to ask. You come
Yeah.
from this place like you didn't think you deserve anything
Mhm.
to actually believe maybe there's a possibility I can have a better life to the next
Mhm.
stage like I think I can get what I want.
Yes, and you know what's so
Yeah.
interesting is I started writing a lot of songs of what I don't want, right? I don't
Oh
want this,
yeah.
I don't want that. And
Everybody
sometimes you gotta
does.
start there. Sometimes you gotta start, I don't want this, I don't want that. And then eventually
Mhm.
it's like, okay, it's a little negative approach. That's
Yeah.
okay, Connie, because you had to go through that. Okay,
Yeah.
now, but what do you want? And then just focus on every day. Like, does that feel good? And that's really hard for
Mm.
some people. They're like, I don't know how I feel. Like, what is a feeling? I don't know. But it's like, just slowly but surely asking myself, what do I want every day? It's starting to get easier, that question.
Really, eh?
It's
So
making me a better
how long
artist.
does it take? I'm just curious. How long does it take for you to constantly ask that question?
I've been asking
For
myself, what do I want, since my mid-20s as practice, and I feel like it wasn't until maybe my maybe early 30s.
oh
What,
wow.
30 was when I think it took me 5 years to start really feeling
Yeah.
maybe 1 year you already feel it progress, but like by 5 years I was like, I don't like that. I like that. I don't like what he said there. I'm upset about that. Those are all like, because before that it was kind of like, huh, that was interesting. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know, because I'm just be straightforward, small, hide, and you'll get
Yeah.
happiness, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the way you behave, I notice a lot of kids this day, that's exactly how they behave. I mean, instead of thinking about what it is that I want or do I deserve it and can I reach that, I notice that nowadays people, not just younger kids, I would say literally everybody, I
Mhm.
love to answer I don't know, because
Mm.
that's their easy way out,
Mhm.
right? So
Mhm.
obviously, by constantly saying "I don't know," you are somehow brainwash yourself. You just eventually get
Mm.
lost too.
Yeah, because it could be like, I'm still figuring it out. I'm still exploring. Like,
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh,
I'm gonna know soon.
yeah, yeah,
So I
I
don't know.
want to just add really quick. Thank you for sharing that. So
yeah,
beautiful.
totally. Yeah.
What you shared made me realize, the importance of having some sort of vision board to
Mm,
really
Mm.
narrow down what it is that you want ultimately, right? Not
Mhm.
just something right now, but ultimately, so you can think big. And
Mhm.
I'm just gonna quickly advertise this real quick. Rowan
Mm.
has a retreat coming up in
Mm.
Vietnam, and it's a 5 day, 4 night workshop. And you're gonna do a vision board, and she's gonna help you
yeah,
manifest that.
yeah.
It's the
That's
whole
just what
thing.
I
Sounds
do.
awesome.
February 2025. It's all the info is available on on
Yeah.
her YouTube, on her pages. So check it out.
Wow.
But let's go back to that real quick. Like once
Yes.
you kind of figure out what you might want,
Mm,
not don't know for sure yet what you
yeah.
might want.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
are the steps you take to kind of
Yeah.
realize that, and what actions did you put into it so you
Yeah.
could realize a dream, a goal, a passion?
That's a really good question. I think it's like, I think that it's through, one is like, I have a couple of friends that I really love and respect, and I'll
Mm,
sometimes tell them. So you have to know yourself a little bit. Like, there's two
yeah.
approaches. One is you tell the people you really care about what you want,
Okay.
and then it kind of puts it out into the world. And like, I remember
Accountability.
when I was like, I want to be a musician, I started like in social gatherings being like, I'm a musician. Not, oh, I want to be a musician. I'm a musician.
Oh
And you're like,
wow.
does anyone know that I'm just like pretending? But I'm not pretending, but I'm like
Yeah. Yeah.
learning how to put that suit on,
Yes.
Mhm.
So I
That's
started
beautiful.
yeah, that
Oh,
way.
that's a great example. Yeah. So
That's
because a
beautiful.
lot of kids, they don't know what it is, right? And then usually they will the attitude I get is like easy for you grown up to say.
Mhm.
Like for them, like they see their parents buying the house and
Mhm,
spending money so easily. Why they don't have that kind of? They also want to get there, but they don't know how
mhm,
to get there, right?
mhm.
So
Yeah,
I mean, what you just share is basically it starts from something so simple. It doesn't even require money.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Just asking questions. And here's another thing, and this might be like, not, I'm going to preface it that it's a privilege that I was able to do this, but I saved up some money, and I was like, I have a couple months where I could just work for free. And there was this writer that I really loved. I was just like,
Mhm.
oh, she's so cool. I want her life. Like, she's so cool. And so I asked her, can I intern for you and work for you for free? And she was like, yeah. So then I got to spend time with her, and I'm just
Wow.
soaking in all her behaviors, right? I'm soaking in what I'm seeing. How does she decorate her house? Like, I'm just learning. And then
Yeah.
you just like are there helping her, but then sometimes in conversation she'll be like, so what's going on with you? And like, then you learn. But I think as
Yeah.
a young person, I didn't have a lot of connections or money, but I had energy. I had
Mm.
Yeah.
energy, and I had hope, and I
Oh
had
yeah.
like like yeah, I had those questions. I had this burning question and energy. And so you can give that and leverage it. Don't give it away all the time for free, but sometimes it does give you an advantage to just offer it. Put yourself in rooms that
Yeah.
like where you're learning the most.
Yeah, you remind me of the saying called you are the average out of 5 people you hang out the most.
Mm,
So in
love
this
that saying.
case, because even though you're doing things for free, people are like, well, you're not really get anything out of it. The reality is I get a little bit, knowledge there, behavior there. I'm observing, watching. That's gonna eventually influence you as well.
Totally.
Obviously.
Job well
Oh,
done. Job well done.
yeah,
Can you say that
totally.
saying again? You are
You
the average.
average out of 5 people that you hang out the most.
Love that.
Yeah,
So good.
so you got to pick
Good.
your 5 people carefully.
Yeah.
Like,
Or
sorry, you're gonna break down my bar. No.
but that's huge for a young adult. Remember when we were in our 20s, just like giving away our time to so many different people and like
Oh
in
yeah.
rooms where like, I really don't like this, but
I
I
don't
guess
know.
because like we didn't know how to say no as well. Oh,
Yeah.
no is so good. No is so good.
No.
I love
Yeah.
when my like younger like friends like start saying no. I'm like, yes, say no.
Yeah.
And if
Yeah.
I
Me
invite
too.
them, when I invite them, they're like, I can't. I'm like, good job. Good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't come.
Don't come. I want you to come, but don't come.
Yeah.
I say that a lot. I encourage a lot of my followers to do that. So sure enough, I'm labeled a cult because their parents, like my daughter, starts saying no to me. My wife starts saying to no to me. Like, what kind of cult are you joining? I'm like, the cult.
That's amazing.
Oh my god. Oh, you got so many stories to share. But then I just
You do
realized.
too.
Oh, I
Yeah,
just
we all
realized
do.
that I'm
Mhm.
missing one big thing. So here, like, you know, you have said your music, the such great height. It's
Yeah.
obviously the song for the upcoming Netflix TV show, right? It's a
No,
TV show.
it already happened.
It
That's
Yeah,
the
already
one.
happened.
Yeah.
Friday,
Oh my god.
yeah,
Up,
it just came out.
oh,
Yeah,
I
it's
think
a
All
movie
right.
too.
because Ugly is, if I remember correctly, it's a book that I read really, really long time ago.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's exactly
Is
Yes.
that
the
a
book
book?
that it's based off of. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
It's a
it's
movie. It's a movie on
oh my
Netflix
god,
right now.
everything fall into places. Like,
Yeah.
it's for the person who feel like so ugly of themselves and all that. And
Hmm.
oh, and with your, oh my gosh. I mean, share us a little bit about that. For
Yeah.
me, I feel like such a great great mix, great
Hmm.
combination, a great story, and then with you as a back voice or music. Oh,
Hmm.
I really
yes.
enjoyed watching this movie and being a
Yeah.
part of it because the movie is tackling a lot of really prevalent issues for young people right
Yeah,
now, and like
for
what we're
sure.
talking about, like like the comparison and what we should
Yeah.
be is so loud.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Someone said it was such a great point. Like when I was younger, I went to high school and there was like all the gossip and stuff. When I went home, it was done.
Yeah.
No more. It's just at school. But now it like follows kids back home.
Everywhere. Yeah.
And so there's no break from the should. Like you should look like
Mm,
this, you should be like that, you should buy this, you should all
yeah.
the shoulds. So this movie really points it out and it shows this yearning for nature.
Yeah.
It's so
Hmm.
beautiful. This yearning for authenticity, which is
Yeah.
what this podcast is, or this live stream is all about,
Right.
and what you're all about. And
Mm,
the song that I got to sing is a cover of Postal Service, their song called "Such Great Heights," and we I created this with a woman named Belinda Huang,
yeah.
and we had such a great time making it, and I was really happy to be a part of this because um, I felt so many shoulds as a young person. I
Yeah.
felt ugly. I felt all these things. And now I'm learning to accept myself. And it's a lifelong journey. And I'm
Yeah.
learning and to be part of this new generation and to bring this beautiful song because it's a millennial favorite.
Yeah.
And to bring
Hmm.
it into the generation for Gen Z, Gen Alpha is like such a cool privilege,
Yeah.
and a different take with a woman's voice. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I just think it's such a good blend.
Hmm.
Sometimes things don't blend well, but this is just like from you, the musician who had such a great voice and such,
Thank you.
passion and struggle, and then grow up, transform to where you're, and then combine with the story. It's just
I love the
perfect
story.
match.
I
Perfect
love the
match.
story so much. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
oh, I hate to wrap this up. My God. Otherwise, I'm going to train you down and keep you here to sing whole day for us. But okay. Now I was settle with Spotify, but that's okay. Uh,
No chains this time. Okay.
okay. So, but before I let you go, though, before I let you go, I promise I will let you go. But before I let you go,
I don't. I'm having such a great time. Yeah.
oh, watch out what you say.
7 hours later. Yeah.
Oh, I take word very literally. So anyway, because what in my head, I always have my kids. I always have children in my head, in the back of my head, right? So I keep
Mm,
thinking like, for a lot of young people who going through a lot of struggle right now,
mhm,
whether it's good or not good, and then simply cannot see a way out in their future, or don't know how to get there, or don't know what to do, feeling lost. Honestly, they
mhm,
just simply feel lost, right?
mhm,
But I
mhm,
think people feel lost because they were not introduced a way. They simply don't know how,
mhm,
right? So for you, from the perspective of a person who gone through all that and to wherever you are right now, do you have anything like, if you is kind of talk back to you or 20 years old or 15 years
mhm,
old, so like what would you give, what kind of suggestion would you give it to them, or what would you share with them from your point of view? Like what what do you wish you would have heard when you were 18, when you were feeling
mm,
lost?
mm. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to get a little philosophical for a
Yeah.
second, but
We
Okay.
love that.
We
Go
love that.
for it.
Yeah. Oh.
Go
okay.
for it.
The
Go for
question,
it.
like, so someone asked me, so back to questions. Does the flower ever doubt itself as it's blooming? And so I think about that a lot, like, because I think there is something in our DNA, in our bodies, that helps us persevere, and
Yeah.
trusting that within us is really important, because there was a part of me that asked me myself, could I deserve something bigger? That
Mhm.
is part of nature that is in there helping me to continue my growth.
Yeah.
And so if people feel disconnected from that, they're like, I don't hear that. Then I would say, move, go for a walk, go
Yeah.
outside, because our culture is very stuck in our heads. And this is what they say in the movie Pretties, which I loved. Like,
Yeah.
it was like these young actors saying, like, oh, your culture, you don't move enough. Like, because the body has this intelligence, which is like what the flower, the stems and the leaves, the petals
Yeah.
all have an intelligence. We have that too.
Yeah.
Nobody ever feels worse after going for a walk. Like,
Yeah.
you always feel better after a walk. Your head is clearer. And then you realize the feeling that you're feeling right now is not forever. Because
Yeah.
once you go on the walk, you start feeling like maybe you're still sad, but it's not so heavy, you
Yeah.
know?
This too shall pass, right? This too
Yeah.
shall
Yeah.
pass.
No
Yeah.
feeling,
Yeah.
no emotion is forever. You are
Mhm.
we are the sky, and then the feelings are the clouds. We hear that Buddhist saying, and so
Mhm.
that's what I like to think. So it probably sucks. It might suck, like, but it's not forever. So go for a
Yeah.
walk, move your body, and just remember, like, the flower does not doubt itself when it blooms. The caterpillar doesn't doubt it. Maybe it does, but it turns into a butterfly anyway. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Does
Oh
a
well.
caterpillar go like, I don't know if I can do this? I don't know. I don't
Oh,
know.
no, I don't think so, because their vision is right here only.
Yeah.
People believe they can do that, but they actually don't.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
Wow.
such a well say. Oh my God. Oh well,
Beautiful.
I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for you to come to my show and then allowing me to be freestyle, asking you any question. As many of you know, I'm known for not editing. I don't have time for it. No
Yeah,
makeup, no filter. So this is the milk
love
that
it.
you get, as authentic as you can get. So if many of you, as I say, if you still don't have if you don't have milk in your playlist, at her now, because her
Mhm.
music can soothe you, can put you
Mhm.
to sleep, or can brainwash you, one or the other. Pick one. So anyway, it's such a great honored to have you on my show. And then thank you for Shirley from Spark Whimsy for connecting us together to make this happen. So I'm truly honored. And then I hope you guys enjoy the interview today as well. I hope in the future, since you are the woman with many story, I hope in the future I can have an opportunity to have you come back on again.
Yes,
100%.
please.
That's already a yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh,
I so enjoyed today.
So
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 anyway,
fun.
yeah. So
thank you.
I guess we have to wrap it up. But till then, I guess I will see you guys next time. Bye
Thank
now.
you.
Bye.
Bye.